Mabuhay! This is the art of human beings being humans. Ronnie Protasio here. And we are now in Module 3, the Humanities and the Western Civilization. And in this module, learners are expected to 1. Discover the etymology of humanities and art. 2. Identify the place of humanities in the history of Western civilization. 3. Differentiate the different humanistic disciplines from each other. 4. Describe the Western concept of art. 5. Give the classification of Western art. 6. Identify the 7 arts in Western civilization. 7. Give examples of the minor arts. Now let's begin. The word humanity comes from the Latin word humanitas, which means human nature or kindness. Humanity includes all humans, but it can also refer to the kind of feelings humans often have for each other. But when we talk about humanity, you could just be talking about people as a whole. When people do bad things, it tests your faith in humanity. When people ask for money to help feed starving children, they are appealing to your sense of humanity. Humanity is the human race, which includes everyone on earth. It's also a word for the qualities that make us human, such as the ability to love and have compassion, be creative, and not to be like a robot or an alien. According to Erwin Panofsky, a humanist, art is a humanistic discipline. It means that the creation and appreciation of art are activities intended for us human beings. He explained that people in a state of culture in a civilized world are referred to as humanitas. Humanity means caring for and helping others whenever and wherever possible. Humanity means helping others at times when they need that help the most. Humanity means forgetting our selfish interests at times when others need our help. Humanity means extending unconditional love to each and every living being on earth. Panofsky added, savages in a state or nature of survival are referred to as barbaritas. Describing an animal as savage means that it is true to its wild, ferocious nature. But if you describe a person or actions of a person as savage, it means cruel or brutal. A place can also be described as savage if it's untamed, uninhabitable, and unwelcoming. Furthermore, Panofsky stated that gods in a state of perfection in heaven are called divinitas. To be divine means one has achieved divinity, a quality or nature of God which is synonymous with excellence and power of being. Well, I think I'll just settle for being humanitas. It's easier to achieve. We have an activity under this module which you can do later. It's an attitude check activity where you will check the attitudes denoting being cultured and refined. It's a good thing to know whether we are doing the right things as human beings by checking our own attitudes. Since ancient times, Western civilization has been focused on understanding the human psyche. During the ancient times, Western civilization developed this cosmocentric view of man. It is a vision of reality that places the highest importance or emphasis in the universe or nature, which strongly focuses on humankind as the most important element of existence. Protagoras states that man is the measure of all things, while geocentrism promotes man as the center of the universe. This drawing by Ptolemy shows man in the center of everything. Theocentrism is the belief that the Christian God is the central aspect of our existence. In this view, meaning and value of actions are done to people or the environment are attributed to God. Scholasticism puts emphasis on man being created in the image of God. Man, therefore, becomes the center of creation. This medieval drawing shows the biblical creation of man. Anthropocentrism is the worldview that considers humans to be the most important thing in the universe, or at least on the planet Earth. During the Renaissance times, the concept of humanism teaches nothing is more wonderful than man. This popular drawing by Da Vinci entitled Vertuvian Man shows the anthropocentric man being the measure of all things. In another popular painting by Michelangelo at the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel entitled The Creation of Man, the image of man is shown in the image of God. Man becomes the measure of God. Heliocentric theory removed man from the center of the universe and suggested a special place for man in the universe. Technocentrism is a value system that is centered on technology and its ability to control and protect the environment. This picture of the evolution of man shows man being part of nature. This Rembrandt painting shows man as the object of scientific studies, while in this painting by Filipino artist Cesar Legazpi, man is shown being dehumanized by the industrial age and technology. In this controversial work by Medio Cruz, man is shown as the product of everything we see in the environment. The study of humanities has 4 branches. In history, we need to remember the lessons of the past so we can move forward to our future. In languages, it is also important that we communicate these experiences and learn from others too. In philosophy, we also need to find the reasons why things happen. And of course, through the arts, we are able to express ourselves creatively. Speaking of creative expression, the word art came from the Latin word ars, which means a skillful production or performance. Art has 2 branches. We have the liberal arts and the servile arts. The liberal arts are produced by artists, while servile arts are made by artisans. Artists produce the major arts, also considered the fine arts. Artisans, on the other hand, produce crafts considered as minor arts. Artisans are craftsmen that help artists complete their job. They make the violins and other musical instruments that musicians use. They design the frame where the painter places his canvas. They construct the stage for theater artists and dancers. They also create art like tattoos, pottery, woodworks, ironworks, prints on woven cloth, billboards, etc. Too bad they are not considered artists based on Western standards. The Western concept of art has 3 qualifying standards. For a person to be considered an artist, first, an artist should be academic, meaning he had formal training in an art school. Secondly, art and artists are elitists, meaning art is meant only for the higher social class. Lastly, art is hierarchical. We have liberal arts and servile arts, high art and low art, major art and minor art, artists and artisans. That's how it is. Deal with it. The major arts are made by artists primarily concerned with form and beauty, while minor arts are made by artisans concerned with functionality and usefulness of man-made objects. There are 7 major arts produced by artists, and they include visual arts, architecture, music, dance, theater, cinema, and literature. The minor arts produced by artisans include ceramics, weaving, sewing, handicraft, carpentry, masonry, stone cutting, gardening, and cooking. Watch this video entitled, "Is there a difference between art and craft?" and find out how the separation of the artist and the artisan started. After watching the video, share what you think and feel about the Western concept of art. Answer the questions included on page 9 in our module. After watching the video, we already know how this separation of the artist and artisan started. It would be good to note that here in the Philippines, we don't follow such concept. We give equal importance to the artists and artisans because they are all creators of art. Take a look at this painting by Michelangelo in the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo couldn't have done this on his own. He needed an artisan to construct the mechanism that will allow him to paint facing the ceiling. But why is it that only the artist took the credit? Well, that's how the Western concept of art works. We can agree with it or not. Here are the questions you will answer in our Q&A activity on page 9. Number 1. What are your thoughts about Western concept of art? Number 2. How do you think this Western concept has affected the way you look at art? And number 3. How do you see art today? How do you think this should be practiced in the Philippines? Why and why not? A quiz will follow after this module, so prepare. So my fellow human beings, that ends our lesson on the Western concept of art. I hope you learned something from this video. See you in Module 4, the Humanities and the Filipino Personhood. If you find this video useful, please like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Art of Human Beings Being Humans, and hit that bell button for more videos. Thank you very much. And remember, being humans, we become human beings through the arts. Mabuhay!